What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the first semifinal, France versus Spain, brought to you by FanDuel. Apologies, I'm trying to pull up the freaking stream on my TV. Hopefully, we started about 30 seconds late and I haven't missed a complete screamer. If I would have turned it on, it would have been Spain 2, France 0. I'd have been like, damn, you just got to hold the L. Apologies for being a little late. I was supposed to have a meeting, but it got canceled. Okay, for those of you who want to sync up with me, I am on 3, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm just watching a little bit of French possession here. Ooh, Dembele tries a pass that goes all the way through, and now we got Lamine, who's definitely going to run at, Digne here. You know what I've been surprised about is, number one, this kickoff time is ridiculous. Number two, there's really not that much hype for this game right now in Argentina. I don't know if anybody really cares that much. I'm curious what the vibe is like back home in the States. Like, is everybody packing out sports bars to watch France versus Spain? Because I think that they should, but maybe the vibes went down after the States got eliminated so embarrassingly. The battle for second place. I think the kickoff time is an abomination. Was this done to appease like a European audience? Because it's not even that late in Europe. Could we have not have kicked off at least 5? I think people could have left at work an hour early to catch the game, but like several hours? I just don't think so. I don't even think the Euro people, I'm looking at No's comment, I don't even think the Euro people are upset about waiting until like 10 or 11. I mean, they want to drink, right? Us Americans, people in the Americas, we got to drink coffee and mate during the game. I guess you could drink alcohol at 4 on a Tuesday. I won't, but I guess you could, But I mean, the Europeans, they already got it made, right? They already get so. Oh, oh, my God, unplugged. Hold on 1 second. All right, we're back. Set piece. Rabiot just kicking it in, man. Just absolutely kicking it in. It's 8 p.m. in the UK, 9 for France and Spain. See, I feel like we could have pushed it back to 11, man. I feel like they don't even eat dinner until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in Spain anyways. People not trying to watch the game. They're trying to eat tapas right now. Upamecano back to Manyan. One thing that's not been great about the World Cup is Argentina have obviously done super, super well, and it's just tough to do live watch-alongs for the Argentina games because everybody starts screaming anytime there's a goal, and I don't really want to do a watch-along and be like 30 seconds behind the rest of the city, and then I know like when the goals are about to happen. So I would have loved to do Argentina, Switzerland, but I just went to a bar instead, and it was a much better experience. Okay, Kunde. Oh, Cucurella. Oh, well won by Rodri there. Fabian Ruiz on the ball. Ruiz is running, still going. Back to Baena. Again, for those of you just jumping on, I'm on 7, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, if you want to sync up with me. Great defense from Rabiot. Super, super good there. Upamecano. Oh my gosh, it ends up being a great pass to Elise, and it's a big block by Laporte. Ooh, that was not going to be good. And here we go, end-to-end stuff here. Olmo. Lamine Yamal versus Digne. Still haven't seen it from Lamal this tournament. Great tackle from What? Oh. They called a foul against Rabiot. Hold on, I want to see this again. Oh, I mean, okay. I mean, he won the ball, didn't he? But then he steps. Is that... That sucks because he just completely won the ball, but then he stepped on him. That's gonna hurt. You don't watch the Champions League, only Liga MX? Theo, when you going full time? When those checks start hitting, dude. A yellow card for Rabiot. That's insane. That's insane. I don't even want France to win. That's stupid. To me, that's stupid. This should be an evening game from Farasso. 100%. 100%. But you can't always get what you want. Especially not when Infantino's in charge. I don't understand why we have to keep taking football and like make it worse all the time. This 64 team World Cup idea is a joke. It's a complete joke. Why is this taking so long? Okay, I guess the ref ran out of the spray. We just had a 45-second delay so that he could put foam on the field behind where the ball was already placed. This is ridiculous, man. This is a World Cup semifinal. Let's just play. I'm on 10 minutes. 1, 2, 3. Bad free kick from Spain. Oh, Lamine gets by. Ooh. I don't know who actually had the intervention there. It might have been Upamecano. I'm going to assume it was Upamecano because he's been great. Laporte on the ball. To Rodri. The Spanish white kid goes so hard. I freaking love this one. Hot take, Oyarzabal's mid? That's disrespectful, bro. He's not mid. Is he world class? No, but he's not mid. He's a good player. You know he's good because he cooks for the Spanish national team and cooks for a non-top 3 La Liga team, like consistently. He's done well in different competitions for Spain as well. I think he's very good. But I would not say he's world class. That's insane. Do I live here? Yes, I live in Buenos Aires. Hello from Iraq. It's currently 10 p.m. See, even that's not that bad. 10 p.m., you know, you probably finished dinner an hour ago. I really want to go to Iraq. I just don't know what type of paperwork I need. Do I need the Ayman Hussein pass? Like, I don't know what I apply for to be able to visit. Laporte does super well there against Koundé. Soundproof the room, Mr. Big Bucks. If I had a apartment that I owned, I would soundproof that thing. But I'm staying in an Airbnb. So I'm a little hesitant to invest the thousands of dollars required to soundproof the room. Banco, third place, Jack take. I think you're saying that me bancas? I think that's what you're saying. You agree with me, Mikhail? In which case, thank you. Or you might be saying that you disagree with me. In which case, no, I think you're agreeing with me. I remember when I heard Lo Banco for the first time, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? You're banking somebody? Do you work at the bank? Do you work at Galicia? And they were like, no, it means like I support that. I'm like, then why don't you just say that? Oh, Digne revived his career? I thought his career was doing pretty well. Am I the only one that thinks that, like, he's been pretty solid the last couple seasons? Digne is a good player. Can you make a video on Sorloth? The guy is my goat. I feel like Michael is much more likely to make a Sorloth video than me, and it's not going to be positive. Do you think Argentina will lose as bad as they did in the Malvinas Wars? No, I don't think that they will. I regret highlighting that. I did not read that before I clicked. No, I saw a couple people that were like, actually, England are more motivated than Argentina. And I'm like, why? Why is England more motivated? Like, I don't agree. I don't think England can be more motivated. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm an Argentine simp. I don't think the English players could reach a level of desire of that which the Argentines will have. I think it's impossible, quite frankly. It's just different. Like the cultural scars from conflict with England is present in society still today. I don't think in England it's even close. I mean, I haven't spent a lot of my life in England, but I spent like 3 weeks. You know, it was a decent amount of time, and nobody ever brought up Argentina a single time. They don't have chance about the Argentines. Not to my knowledge, anyways. I've heard the German bombers chant, which goes hard. Congrats to the English. Very well done with that one. But it's just different. Baena, ball in, kind of gets blocked. Elise's trying to play out quickly to Dembele, who's going to do a one-time ball that's ridiculous to Mbappe, and he gets past Kubarsi, but he's got help. Oh, but he somehow keeps the ball. Dude, Rodri recovers so well there. That was... Oh, gosh, this is scary for Spain. Rodri, MVP on that play. Kubarsi was beat. Kubarsi was completely beat. Rodriguez, yeah, he's sprinting his ass off to get back. He knows. He does so well there. Laporte getting back as well. But very good play from the French. It's very fast. They don't want to do the slow build-up if they don't need to. "64 teams and Italy still finds a way to fumble." I just think the argument that the World Cup is better with Italy is a logical fallacy. I think it's a make-believe bedtime story for children. It's based on a memory that no longer matches reality. Why do you want Italy at the World Cup? Because the Italy that you want at the World Cup doesn't exist. If it did, they would have been able to qualify. They failed 3 times in a row, man. They're not good. So there's all like, I want to see Italy. No, you don't. I promise you, you don't. Because they're not going to do anything. They're worse than Germany right now. For sure. And they went out in the round of 32. You don't want to see Italy right now. You're in love with a fantasy. You know, you're waiting for some shoddy to show up who doesn't exist. She doesn't exist. Why are we expanding the World Cup to allow more teams that are not good enough to play? This is not a charity event. It's the most prestigious tournament in the world. Italy are not good enough. And they have no one to blame but themselves. I just don't understand the desire for this. I find it very soft. I want the best teams. I don't want a team because they used to be good. I don't want a team because historically they were good. I want the team that's good now. Great defense from Upamecano. That's what I want. Do you really want to go to the Middle East right now? Yes, I do. Why are you staying in an Airbnb? No, I stay in the Airbnb with my girlfriend. No, Isaac is right, actually. I'm homeless. Is staying in an Airbnb cheaper than getting an apartment? No, it's just difficult to find a furnished apartment in Argentina for like less than a year. And I'm never here for 12 months consecutively. So it's kind of a difficult situation. Vamos a la Roja from the Tunisian shirt collector. What's the history between Spain and Tunisia? How much contact has there been there? $64 teams. Can you imagine China, North Korea will qualify? China wouldn't qualify. They wouldn't. I just imagine destroying years of the football calendar so that, you know, the group stage is more. Oh my gosh, a pen from Digne. Dude, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, Digne just kicks Lamine Yamal. I don't think he knows he's there, but god damn. Oh my gosh, he gets a little lazy with it. I mean, this is a pen. I mean, that's a pen. I mean, god damn, dude. I know they're expanding for money. I know. And like, if people argue money, I'm just going to say, yes, you're right. It's when fans argue for it. Because the fans, we don't get paid, right? I don't make any more money from the World Cup being 64 teams. If anything, I don't know. Maybe tickets are just going to get more and more expensive. It's when fans are like, no, this is the right thing to do. You're a hater. You don't want to see tiny teams at the world. No, because this isn't a charity. And I'm sorry, I owe you nothing. I don't owe you my attention, and you are not entitled to a World Cup. You are entitled the opportunity to qualify, which, by the way, you've had since the beginning of the tournament. You've always had the opportunity. You just aren't good enough. You're entitled to compete. You're entitled to try. You're not entitled to be there. Tunisians speak French? They do speak French, but maybe Tunisian shirt collector is trilingual. The only contact between Spain and Tunisia is Carthage. I mean, Carthage was a big deal. Carthage was a big deal. One of my favorite ancient empires. Thoughts on Junhobe to Lyon? Is that official? That's ridiculous. I'm surprised he got that. He went from Stoke to Lyon. Interesting. I mean, fire. I'm going to watch him more often now. Okay, Yarzabal stepping up to take this pen. God damn, Digne. Okay, well, here it is. We'll see. Oh, Yarzabal steps up. Ooh, it's a goal. It's a great pen. It's a fantastic penalty. There we go. Spain 1-0. It's been a pretty, I would say it's been like 60-40 France so far. But you can't make a mistake like that. You can't just give away a penalty. You can't just kick a player in the hip. I can make more videos. Dude, I don't want to make more videos, Hank. I don't want to make any more videos than what I've made. Waiting for the Suriname versus Thailand masterclass. Why don't we just... Dude, this is what I'm saying, man. Like, let's make the FIFA series more legit. And like, what if the FIFA series spanned multiple international windows? Why does it have to be in one international window? Because if it's in one window, it's impossible to do correctly. Because you can only have 4 teams, you can only have 2 games. But what if it spanned like the September window and then like part 2 was in the October window? We do that with the Nations League for CONCACAF. Why can't we do that for the FIFA series as well? You know, we do the two staged quarterfinals in September, and then we do the semis and the final in October. Why don't we do the exact same thing with the FIFA series? Throw Suriname in there, bro. Throw Suriname, throw Thailand. Let's do this right. Let's do it seeded. Let's have a draw. And we don't need to do a home and away because that's a lot of travel. I think the FIFA series needs to make things easier for national teams. But yeah, let's get a Suriname, a Thailand, a Haiti. Let's get a, what's another good team from Asia to throw in there? I mean, throw Iraq in there. Why not? Throw Iraq in there. Throw Saudi Arabia in there. And then grab 2 teams from Africa. Throw a Mali and throw a DR Congo. Throw a and then 1 team from CONMEBOL, 1 team from UEFA. And let's do a FIFA series that actually has a little bit of clout, a little bit of excitement, and it's more of a, what would I say? Of a legitimate competition. You know, because if you lose, then you go out. Right? But you can win 3 knockout games, and we can go to pens. We can do whatever the hell we want, and then somebody wins a trophy. That's what I think would help more than a 64-team World Cup. I mean, everyone's like, 64-team, it's going to help football development. What are you even saying? No, it's not. The World Cup is a event every 4 years. You think 3 group stage games is going to assist development? It's not going to have any impact on development. If you want Thailand and Suriname to get better, they need dozens of high-level competitive games. The World Cup is not that. They need to be participating in good FIFA series, good Nations League, Gold Cups, whatever it may be. That's what I think is going to help. Dumbass play from Digne? Yep. I mean, there's no reaction. There's no reaction to that. But people will still complain online. They will still say that there's a script. I don't know why Digne thought he had so much time there. You look related to a Yarzabal. No one's ever told me that before. What do you think of the Jermaine Jones situation and what he said? All I saw was that he called out Kathy somebody. I don't know enough details to speak on the situation, though. If you want to drop a little mini paragraph, I can read about it. I think making the World Cup would help with funding for the different FAs. Go Browns. All day, baby. Go Browns, baby. There's a reason it's called the World Cup Final. I haven't seen a single good argument yet, guys, for an expanded World Cup. I have not seen a single good argument. Because people say better games. That's literally not true. How could incorporating worse national teams result in an increase in quality? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And that's not how it works. It's like we're adding ingredients to the cake for no reason. Right? And we're starting with like premium 100%, zero antibiotic brown sugar scraped from the mountainside in Nepal, full of micronutrients and essential amino acids. And like, that's great because I'm buying a premium cake. So I want that Nepalese amino acid gold brown sugar scraped from the mountaintop. But now we're adding Walmart refined bleached white sugar for no reason. And people trying to tell me that by doing so, the cake is going to taste better. It's not. It's going to taste cheap because you've added a cheap ingredient to it. And you're going to charge me the same price for the cake as well. That's the biggest piece of bullshit. Is I'm getting a cake that is now lower quality and I'm paying the same price, if not more. So I just don't understand it. DeadBall doesn't understand Cabo Verde. What do I not understand about them? Am I low IQ for wanting to be 64 teams? Unfortunately, Chandler, yes. Unfortunately. I think you're still a good person, but oh god, Saliba just went down. I guess Lacroix's coming in the game. Oh my god, okay. Well, problems for France now. And Lacroix's like, I gotta get warm. How has Barton been? I think the yellow card he gave to Rabiot was stupid. Otherwise, I haven't noticed him being super annoying. AM, I just dropped an entire 20-minute video talking about why I think there's zero issues at all with third place teams advancing. I think it's the most exaggerated issue in the sport of football. Is third place teams advancing. Jack, why do you want España? Why do I want España? Well, I mean, I've been to Spain before. It's a very beautiful country. My girlfriend's family just moved to Malaga, so I'm gonna be spending many months there now per year. Spain's pretty cool. My family comes from Spain as well. Long time ago. So there's a little bit of that, Spanish origin, migrating to Mexico, migrating to Texas. Here we are type thing. We're having to go way back for the Spanish days, but that's where it started. And I don't think I have any French blood or anything like that. I don't think so. What final matchup would y'all prefer? I don't think there's any losing except the one that I think is the least sexy. France, England, I think is the least sexy, but it's still sexy. You know what I mean? And the only reason I say it's the least sexy is because, English and French people keep telling me there's not really that much of a rivalry, which is disappointing. I guess it's like a rematch of the quarterfinals last time, but that's not as sexy as a rematch of the Euro final. Like, that would be more fun to me, in my opinion. I think France, Argentina, back-to-back same World Cup final. I mean, come on, that's freaking awesome. Spain versus Argentina, finalissima. I mean, the amount of shit talking that was done from both teams is awesome. So I'd love to see that. And then I guess, yeah, I think I've covered all of them. What happened to Saliba? Couldn't tell. He was grabbing his butt cheek. Maybe he pulled something. Jack executed in Ecuador on January 30th, 2027. Cabo Verde was part of the expanded, watered-down talent and gave great games. Ronald, I don't think you understand me. You're accusing me of not understanding, but I don't think you understand me. I don't have an issue with 48 teams. Cabo Verde qualified when it was 48 teams. I don't have a problem with 48 teams currently. But to say that one team gave us good moments is a reason to expand further is a really bad argument. It's a really bad argument because at the end of the day, Cabo Verde didn't win a game at this World Cup. At the end of the day, they did not win a game at the World Cup. So if your main point is going to be somebody came in here and got a bunch of draws and then had a hard-fought loss against Argentina, therefore we should expand to 64, that is a bad argument. I'm on 32, 13, 14, 15. Rabiot again. Really good defense there. Rabiot, I thought, was class against Morocco, and he's looked really good to start this game as well. Kukurea cross blocked by Upamecano. Oh my gosh, Kunde narrowly gets there. Upamecano is playing really well. I understand why some people get excited at the idea of 64 teams, but I think it's important to explain what we would lose, right? Because everything's a give and take. You can't just make the World Cup 64 teams and there be no negative drawbacks. Of course there are. Olmo with a terrible shot. And most of it has to come down to neutralizing World Cup qualifying, which is the majority of the footballing calendar for certain federations, like AFC and CONMEBOL. 55 to 60% of their competitive games every World Cup cycle are qualifiers. And you are basically making the stakes close to zero for at least the top teams. And I don't think it's worth it. I don't think the payout is worth it. To have, maybe we have a more exciting group stage. Again, the World Cup is a tournament every 4 years. I am not going to murder years of the footballing calendar so that one match day 3, can be more exciting. That is what I would call, oh my gosh, a bad ROI. Assassin says, I think 48 teams is the sweet spot. It's just enough to where the worst national teams that qualify can be semi-competitive with the best national teams. Yes, I agree. This World Cup, guys, if we're being honest with ourselves, barely had any upsets. Which is why it's so funny when people respond to me and they're like, well, we'll have more upsets if there's more teams. That is not a logically true or valid statement. That is not how sports work. That is not how upsets work. If you add more and more bad teams to the tournament, you're not going to get more upsets. That is not how it works. The only upsets we had in this World Cup in the knockout stage was Paraguay beating Germany. I would consider Norway beating Brazil an upset. I would consider it a minor upset. So for the sake of simplicity, we had 2 upsets in the knockout round. How many upsets did we have in the group stage? South Africa beat South Korea. I consider that an upset. I mean, I don't even want to count Ecuador beating Germany because Germany had nothing to play for and rotated. There's probably some other examples that I'm missing. I mean, Curacao had a great draw. Cabo Verde had a great draw. DR Congo had a great draw. But in terms of upsets, we barely had any. And y'all think it's going to get better? I don't understand it. Good ball down here to Barkala. Barkala dancing. Dance. And he's got Digne overlap. He took the shot in. Oh, I think the overlap was the better option there. Jack better never step foot in Belfast. I have stepped foot in Belfast many years ago. Jack, where were you on January 6th? Y'all know where I was. Spain going the other way here. Cucurella, Baena, Nomad Jack. France and England hate each other. See, Hank, that's what I thought, but I don't know. I have more French buddies than English buddies, and they were like, we don't really care that much. And I was like, really? That's disappointing. They were like, yeah, we consider Brazil to be a rival because of World Cup games. And I was like, okay. I think the same final edition, 2 finals in a row would be a bit disappointing. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to watch Baena. Pressure here. Rodri might have a shot. It's a mistake by Magnan. Olmo, the mean across. Oh my gosh, Upamecano saves a goal. Dude, this guy's been a beast. Spain definitely slightly better now that France have to push for it. Excellent play from Spain here. Dude, Upamecano, that tackle is ridiculous. That block is ridiculous. Stop playing, man. That block is ridiculous. I can understand that. Isaac. It's not my preference. What do I want? I want the finalissima. If it was Argentina versus France again, I mean, I guess it would just be cool because of what the takeaways could be. Ruiz ball back in the box. It is going to fall for Baena. You know, like, if this is supposed to be the era of football that's completely dominated by France, yet they lost 2 World Cup finals to Argentina, that now challenges that narrative. So as like a YouTuber who's really obsessed with storylines, there's enough for me to dig my teeth in there. But I like different matchups too. I mean, I'm a Cavs fan, and I was so sick and tired of playing the Warriors, you know, both because they were really freaking good, but also I was like, I kind of want to play, you know, somebody else in the finals. Jack, any thoughts on Pete and Filippo maybe leaving the U.S. men's national team space after the disaster class in the round of 16? I would be surprised if they actually do that. I think they're just really disappointed and maybe a little emotional right now. I don't think they're going to leave. I don't think they would leave. Because I think there's enough excitement with the U.S. men's national team project going forward to keep you interested. I don't think they'll leave. It was a back problem for Saliba. Thoughts on the next Mexico generation coming in? I'm excited to see it. That's one of the main objectives for Rafa, is to start putting those guys in the team. I don't buy in too much towards super young prospects who haven't done anything yet, because I think the fail rate is insanely high, especially with hyped up Mexicans. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I hope they break in the team and they play well. Oh, a little bit of an issue here at the back. Unai Simon's going to recover. Won by Koundé. Rodri, right place, right time again. Wouldn't Cabo Verde have qualified even the 32-team format? Maybe. Maybe. They were not one of the like latter round African teams, so maybe. I don't know. What do you think of the people who saying Argentina rigs every game? I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a ridiculous narrative. I think there is a very organized hate campaign against the Argentine national team, where every time they win, it's because it's rigged. And this is a national team that has basically been winning for 5 years. So for 5 years, they have apparently rigged multiple major tournaments. They've rigged 4 major tournaments in the last 5 years, and that's why they keep winning. And it's really annoying because they're clearly an elite team. They're clearly one of the best national teams of all time. And it's a smear campaign to tear them down, because some people hate Messi. There's a lot of jealousy and envy and hate towards the country of Argentina. And as somebody who moved here recently, I find it disgusting. And it's very aggravating. I think a lot of people can't accept the fact that maybe they just weren't good enough to beat Argentina. Great through ball to, oh my gosh, Simone reads that like a book. He reads it like the Sunday paper there. Excellent from Unai. I think it's a whole bunch of noise, man. It's a whole bunch of BS. Switzerland needs the Gold Cup invite, top gold exporter. Switzerland at the Gold Cup would go so hard, and they would win. They would win, and everyone would be like, maybe next time we invite Montenegro. Oh, nope. Ball back in. Oh my gosh, mistake from Unai. What do you think of France's performance so far? They've been very close to brilliance about 3 times. And whether it be Rodri, whether it be Laporte, whether it be Unai Simon, Spain have not cracked in that moment. And they'll keep going, and it's another 45 minutes. A foul on Fabian Ruiz. I think Tack and Pete said they would quit if the U.S. men's national team rehired Berhalter. The hate was started by a certain Portuguese player. It's just... Here comes Lamine. I'm on 44, 15, 16, 17. Cucurella ball in, blocked by Tchouaméni, I think. I don't think I've said Tchouaméni's name until the 44th minute. There's Elise running at Cucurella, but he's got help here. Excellent from Baena. Rodri, Fabian, excellent. Cucurella, well done from Spain there. Well done. Bravo. Bravo. Kubarsi. Foul. It's not rigged, but this Argentina team is the 2026 New England Patriots. I didn't pay too much attention to the 2026 New England Patriots, so good, but overinflated by the media. Who's the current Patriots quarterback? Isn't it, what's his name? Something Mac Jones. So you're saying that like they're solid, but they shouldn't be regarded as elite. I don't know if that's totally true or false. What I will say is a lot of the media doesn't really rate them. A lot of especially the English-speaking media, doesn't really rate them that much. They don't think they're terrible, but they're like, that's kind of, they're okay. Yeah, they're good. Jaime is talking about how all the Latin American countries are very mean to each other. It's completely true. No way this France team dominated Morocco. Well, I think if Morocco had gotten a completely out of the blue penalty kick in the 20th minute, I think they would have locked it down as well, and we would have seen France struggle more. This is a huge mistake. That's a huge mistake from France to make. And you did it against one of the best teams. Oh my gosh, what a ball in from Koundé. Mbappe can't get there. He does so well. Barcola stays with the play. Poro on him. Dembele coming centrally. Here's Tchouaméni. Back to Dembele. Lamine playing defense. It's going to fall to Digne. Digne down to Rabiot. Rabiot ball across. There's not enough. There's just not enough of a box presence from France. You cursed France, bro? How? How did I curse France? I unironically need Georgia at the Gold Cup. That would be pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Bro is biased towards Argentina. No, I just think all of your arguments are stupid. Everything that people complain about is the correct call. So, like, I don't know what we're doing. I'm quite critical of Argentina, actually. Oh, Rabiot again. Excellent from, is that Laporte again? Dude, this is getting stupid how good Laporte's been. This is starting to get ridiculous. How was this man in Saudi Arabia like 2 years ago? I don't understand. Oh gosh, bad giveaway from Simon. Tchouaméni, instead of pushing the tempo, plays backwards, and you can see Dembele's a little pissed. He's like, dude, we had a 3v3, and you're trying to arm wrestle with Fabian Ruiz in the middle of the pitch instead of playing it first time. Which one of your semi-predictions were you more confident in? Probably Argentina. Have you heard Trossard's a Besiktas player? I did see that. Interesting. Elise's been locked up all game. Does Messi have a Saudi or Nations League title? Didn't think so. This is true. I can't say anything about that. It's a correct fact. Extremely disappointing for France so far. Yeah, it's been a 5.5 out of 10 for them. I really don't think Spain have been that great. I don't think either team has really dazzled that much. But one team got a penalty. Jack, what club do you support? I like Tottenham and Atletico Madrid. I've been watching more La Liga the older I get. I think I'll get back into the Prem more next season. I was just so pissed at Tottenham for sacking Postecoglou. And all the brain dead takes I saw from the Spurs fans. I was like, I can't with y'all. I literally can't with y'all. And then they turned on Cuti Romero as well. And I was like, I hate each and every one of you. Drake May. Mac Jones, my bad. Bro, I told you that I have not been following the New England Patriots, okay? I'm watching CONCACAF qualifiers, Guatemala versus Suriname, and y'all think I got time to watch the New England Patriots? I got no idea what's happening, man. God recommended a video from 3 years ago the other day, and you look so much different with short hair. I've had like 2 old videos blow up in the past 48 hours, and I don't know why the algorithm decided to do that, but yes, I do look different with short hair. End of the first half. Someone says this is rigged. How is this rigged? This is what I'm saying. People think every game is rigged. Maybe your team just sucks. Spain is dominating, or am I crazy? I wouldn't say this is domination. I would say they're better. I wouldn't say they're dominating, though. How would you feel about Cabo Verde at the Gold Cup? It would be cool. It'd be really, really cool. That would be an exciting inclusion. I'm here for that. I want Australia in the Gold Cup permanently. That would also be fire. Would also be completely fire. Laporte getting his back versus France. Oh, getting his get back for France for not being called up. Yeah, he's having the game of his life. Do you regret your pick for the game? Nah, not really, dude. I'm so done with World Cup predictions. Like, I've already said what needs to be said. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and we just move on. What league is rated higher, Saudi or US one? I would say MLS is still rated higher. What do we think about Tottenham? I mean, they're spending a shit ton of money. We'll see what happens. Van Hecky, Tonali. It's a lot of players getting in. Jack is 7 decades behind in the chat. I'm actually only 2 minutes back now. Didn't you predict a Spain versus Argentina final? Yeah, that was in the beginning, but in my latest prediction, I said I'm more confident that France might be able to beat Spain now because I don't think Spain's star players have been that good. We haven't really seen any magic from Nico Williams or Lamine Yamal. I guess the moment of magic for Lamine today was getting kicked in the hip. He got kicked in the hip by Digne, and hey, man, that's as good as a goal. That's as good as an assist, as far as I'm concerned. You drew a penalty like that? Hell yeah, man. I used to think you were a douche when you had the blonde hair. I'm still a douche. I mean, nothing has changed. My hair's just longer now. Short hair Jack was 90s style? Interesting. I feel like I'm more 90s now. Analysis on halftime. Pretty 50-50 game. Spain get a penalty for Luca Digne being lazy. Since then, there's been a bit more space for Spain to operate in. I don't know if there's been like super clear chances. They had that one where Upamecano blocked Fabian Ruiz, which I think was really clutch. France not taking advantage of the space that they've gotten so far. There's been a couple of transitional opportunities, and I think Spain have defended it to perfection. And they're kind of struggling whenever Spain gets set, which is maybe an issue. You know, if you have Rabiot and Tchouaméni central, and then like Barcola and Dembele's out left, and Mbappe and Elise are out right, it's just not enough centrally. So I would try to be getting Elise the ball a lot more than what he had in the first half so that he could pull the strings. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Doué at some point. Very good defensive performance from Spain. I feel like the ref has been fair. I feel like he's been fair as well. One bad call does not mean that a game is rigged. That's not how rigging works. Crazy how people are throwing the word. Everything is rigged now, like at all times. It makes it so exhausting. Just saw an MLS commercial with Messi passing to Tim Ream. Interesting. Gold Cup in Central America, they won't do it because of money. They won't do it because of money. Lamine haters in shambles. France is a 0.04 XG, so it does seem like a domination in terms of stats. Well, I mean, let's check this out. My computer's going to be way too slow, so let's just use my phone. I'm going to see the stats for everything here. Spain versus France. Stats. Gosh, even my phone is going slow. I mean, okay. So if we remove the penalty, which is 0.8 XG, then what the XG really is from open play in this game is 0.04 for France and 0.19 for Spain. I'm sorry, but I don't know if that's domination. They're better, but they're not dominating. And the penalty wasn't from like, you know, boom, boom, boom. The ball was flying around the place and France had to make a tackle and they caught Audemars on the ankle. No, it's just Luca Digne not looking and he kicked to Lamine Yamal. I don't think it's dominating. I don't think it's dominating. Now, we'll see what happens. Talk to me at the end of the second half. Spain start cooking here. I'm going to change my tune. But as of right now, I would just say Spain have been better, but I would not say they've been dominating. Nico recovering from injury, I know, and it's a very poorly timed injury for Spain. But they're up 1-0 in the semifinal. So maybe it doesn't even prove to be that important. Thoughts on Xavi Simons? Do you think Spurs got scammed by Leipzig? I think he's a pretty good player. Yeah, and I'm going to leave it at that. I think he's a pretty good player. I think it was a lot of money. XG from open play is 0.03 to 0.14. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about here. And that's why, you know, conceding a penalty, an unforced penalty, is a very bad idea. France are going out the first time they faced adversity, and they're now under real pressure. Too early to say. You could be right, though. Now I look like a 70s commune cult style? Cult member? I don't even know what that means. Artagnan 70s commune cult? I have no idea what that is. Hold on. I have no idea what I'm looking at in these images over here. This jack is 1970s style? I'll take that. I'll take that. How can you give a bad call in 2026? That's not how refereeing works, my man. Like, the refs are going to make mistakes. Can we at least have for us to start saying that the referee is terrible? I need like 3 bad decisions in the game. If a ref makes 1 bad decision, I'm not going to say that he's had a disaster class, and I'm certainly not going to say that it's rigged. I think you missed a super chat. I think I just haven't gotten to it yet. What is your take on the ref for this game? He is familiar. He's a very card-happy ref. He does a lot of stuff in CONCACAF. I think he's too card-happy, personally. I don't think he's been bad here, though. What potential debutant do you think is the most likely to qualify in 2030 from each federation? Venezuela, I think, from CONMEBOL, they will make it next time, I think. From Asia, a debutant making it in. I can answer that question better after the Asian Cup. There's a couple teams that I'm kind of curious what they end up looking like. Because UAE have been there before. Kuwait have been there before. Could Oman qualify? Oman or Bahrain? I think Bahrain are terrible. So no, I think they have 0 shot. They're way too old and they have no new young players. Which scares me because what I think is going to happen is they're going to start naturalizing, which is bullshit and should not be allowed in the sport. It's an absolute joke that you can naturalize like 10 players and they can just jump in your national team. It's ridiculous. That's not what the World Cup is about. That's not what international football is about. So if that happens, I will put Bahrain on the permanent hate watch. Oman, you could argue, have one of the best managers in Asia right now. That Tariq manager from the Moroccan guy who won the U20 World Cup. So maybe he proves to be quite legit. And could he do enough with this Oman team to qualify via round 4 again? It's not impossible. So they would probably be my number 1 favorite. China have been, obviously. I don't know if China would. They need a really good qualifying group, like a very easy go of it. And the rest of the teams, I think, are too weak. Who would you have in a best World Cup 2026 11? Oh, God. I think my goalkeeper would be Shobir from Egypt. My center backs would be Laporte and Davinson Sanchez. I think I'd throw Lisandro Martinez as my left back. No, I'd probably go Cucurella. I'd probably go Cucurella left. Right back, I would go... Low-key, I might go Dennis Zakaria. He was a freaking beast. Either him or Daniel Munoz. 3-man midfield. 3-man midfield. I'm gonna go. There's so many names flying through my head right now. I'm like going from like team to team. I feel like one Argentine might get in there, and depending on how the semifinal goes, I would genuinely have Paredes in the best 11. but he didn't play enough early on. And Enzo was too terrible against Switzerland. He dropped out for me after that game. And Monzambi missed 2 games, or he would have been my 10, my cam. So I would say nobody from Portugal. Hell no. Oh, this one's tough. This one's really, really tough. Best 11 off the top of my head. This is what happens, folks. This is what happens. You start getting older, your memory starts to go, and you're like, who even plays midfield anymore? Jude Bellingham, 100%. I don't know if you want to put him cam or as an 8, but Jude would be in there for sure. Man, I might have gone because I can't think of a better CDM in the moment. I'll say Rodri. Dani Olmo's been pretty freaking good. But I feel like I can do better in that third midfielder position. I'm really tempted to go Puerta from Colombia. Very, very tempted to do that. Nobody from Odegaard? No, I wouldn't put Odegaard in there. Nobody from Canada. Nobody from... I don't know if I put Xhaka. I think Xhaka made a couple big mistakes, actually, this World Cup. So I wouldn't put him. A Moroccan? No. Maybe Bruno Guimaraes. Maybe. This one's tough. I'm going to do a future video about this so that I don't have to just keep thinking on the spot. And then the front three, I mean, how do you fit those guys in? I mean, you got to have Mbappe somewhere. So do I throw Mbappe left wing? Do I keep Messi right wing? And then I guess I put Haaland for now. But if Kane scores in the semifinal, it becomes Harry Kane, in my opinion. It's ridiculous. Like, there's just not enough spots for the amount of great forwards that we've seen. But that's probably what I would have right now. That's probably the 11 that I would have right now. TBH, Saliba was stinking on the pitch. In this game in particular? What do you think about Andres Santos going to Man U? I didn't even know that was happening. I think these players need to stop going to the big 6 clubs in the Prem. Go somewhere else. Go to Bournemouth, get established, and then try to go somewhere else. Chris the Boy asked, let's say the stats of when this France generation ends 2 wins and 1 loss, and they get out in the semis in the next World Cup or something. Would that be successful? Say the stats of when this France generation ends 2 wins and 1 loss, and they get out in the semis in the next World Cup or something. Would that be successful? I don't understand the 2 wins, 1 loss. Are you talking about they win 2 World Cup finals and they lose 1? So they would win this one and win the next one? When you say 2 wins, I'm not sure which you mean there specifically, Chris. Bro, catch up. You're like 50 messages behind. Sorry that I try to give y'all a little bit of attention with these responses. Damn. Jack, I don't know if you heard this before, but you look exactly like F2 driver Nikola Solov. No, I've been told that like 60 times, and it's completely true. It's completely true. I reckon there will be 2 goals the second half, God willing. By the way, second half has started. What about international coaches? Does having a foreign coach mean just as much as a homegrown coach? I don't think it matters, Panda. I've made videos about this before. If the manager cares, the manager cares, and it doesn't matter where he's from. If he understands, and it doesn't matter where he's from. I think there are advantages to having a local guy because you would think he's more familiar. But, I mean, if you have a good foreigner, And again, has a vested interest in the success of your national team. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's see how well France can build up here. Let's see how well this slow build up is. Lacroix on the ball already looks uncomfortable. He's like, somebody help me. I'm used to playing in a back three at Palace. I have nobody to pass to. Looks like Kone's come in the game. I guess is Rabiot off? Maybe because of the yellow card? Are you going to see the Odyssey? I have extremely low expectations for that. Mora is not in the best 11. Tillman is not in the best 11 either, I don't think. He was good, but I don't think he's in the best 11. I'm just now getting all your chats about this. A lot of people said Bellingham, but I said Bellingham. Do you think Algeria versus Austria was rigged? No, I don't think it was rigged. You kind of look like Fetty Wap. Thank you. No fraud watch. Fraud watch is too much for only one sloppy half. Yeah, I think you're talking about France, or maybe you're talking about the ref. I can't tell, but I mean, let's see what happens, man. If France equalize in 5 minutes, then all of a sudden, oh, Lamine wins the ball again, dude. Digne, man, wake up. You're in a World Cup semifinal. Here's the pressure from Spain. Here's the pressure from Spain. And they get around it, kind of, but it takes Koundé 5 seconds to gather the ball. Here's Elise. He's running. Rodri with the help here. That's excellent from Cucurella, and it's excellent help defense from Rodri. Jack, do you have plans to meet F2 racer Nikola Solov one day? Do you plan to watch one of his races? If I ever had the opportunity to go and get a picture with him, I will, because that would go nuclear on the Twitter. Jack, you look exactly like Kalidou Koulibaly. I mean, I think Koulibaly is a good-looking guy, so I'll take that. Are you going to make a video about the ASEAN Cup? It feels like the AFC's attempt at a subcontinental nations league. Yes, if it's taken seriously. If it's taken seriously, I will take it seriously. The movie looks like ass. I'm just afraid, man. I mean, the way that they butchered Napoleon and made it a movie about how Josephine is like the secret hero and the method behind his success. I'm just like, I can't. Excellent tackle from Rodri against Digne, man. Oh my gosh. Here's Lamine against Lacroix one-on-one. France recovers, though. Elliot Anderson is clear in the midfield. I think he has a strong argument. But if Paredes has a better semifinal than him, I would put him above. You know, there's too many players still in contention who still have a game to play. I think at most I would have like 2 players who went out before the round of 16 in my best 11. Like probably Shobier for Egypt. I think you could easily make a case for Kobel. I even think Zion Suzuki has a great argument, and he went out in the round of 32. But goalkeeper's different. That's like it's really just about how many saves did you make, bro. You know, how many moments did you have? Doesn't really matter when you went out of the tournament. Jack, when's your early Copa America preview coming out? Probably after the tournament. Ooh, Lacroix just murdering Oyarzabal. Are there definite plans for a 64 World Cup? Not definite, but I believe Infantino will do everything in his power to push for that. Which is kind of ridiculous because somebody was telling me that the measure has to be voted on. Like it has to be voted on to be approved. Oh my gosh, what a ball over top for Lamine. Lamine, and it's saved by Magnan, and it might have actually gone off. Oh, it was offsides anyways. Great attack from Spain once again. I mean, you're seeing this over Digne's shoulder. He's clearly off, but Digne in clown mode. Dude, he was so good against Morocco too, and he's just, I mean, another bad pass there. It just sets Kone up to fail. It's just not good. Let's see if Digne turns the ball. Another Digne pass. Dude, this guy's having a disaster. Oh my gosh. Where's Teo Hernandez when you need him, man? I think his last 3 passes have been incomplete. I'm pretty sure his last 3 passes have been incomplete. Let's see next time he touches the ball. Let's see if he makes it 4 in a row. Baena, Cucurella, overload. Baena, Kunde, Baena, top of box. Ooh, I think Yarzabal. He's going to get a shot in here. Oof, it's over the top, though. You look exactly like the guy from DeadBall TV. A live vault says, today is the anniversary of the start of the French Revolution. Makes sense we could be seeing the demise of the Napoleon of our times, Kylian Mbappe. Oh my gosh. That is funny. And maybe Mbappe is the Napoleon of our time. My girlfriend said Jack from DeadBall TV looks like if someone drew Justin Long from memory. I think Lamine Yamal is right. France fears Spain. Maybe they do. Oh, Digne's not having fun. Oh, he's not having fun. Barcola has to track all the way back to tackle him. I mean, Digne is completely cooked there. And then a not good back pass. France got to get it together. France got to get it together. I think they need another guy in the midfield. They need control. There's no control here. This is revenge for the War of Spanish Succession. I mean, you could argue Spain already had the last laugh for that. That's like one of the reasons Napoleon ended up losing. Spain was such a drain on troops and money, and he basically got little out of it. I don't think he anticipated Spanish resistance to be that annoying. But it was. I think at one point they had I have a Napoleon biography book that I've read a couple times. I think at one point Napoleon had to keep 500,000 troops garrisoned in Spain just to keep the cities from revolting because they would revolt constantly. And I mean, I know armies were pretty big in the Napoleonic Wars, but 500,000 just to keep what's essentially a colony in check is a huge drain of resources because you got to pay those guys as well. You got to have administrators and all that stuff. And I don't even know what were they even extracting from Spain to make it a worthy investment. I honestly, I don't know. Anyways, we don't need to start talking about Napoleon right now, but yeah, everyone talks about Russia, which obviously was a calamity, but Spain was not good. Look at this Baena winning the ball, and he's just running. Oh, nope. Upamecano gets it back. I mean, Upamecano's been class. It'd be nice if a French attacker could help him out here. Barcola has the step on Porro, and Unai Simon comes out. It's a good little flick on. Porro is... I actually don't even know if Porro was beat. I think he went shoulder to shoulder really well there. For those who care, I'm on 55, 03, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm looking at Desiree Doué warming up here. 13, 14, 15. Would you bring in Cherokee? Yes, I would. Mbappe reminds me of Idi Amin. Isn't that one of the worst African dictators of all time? Am I getting that confused with somebody else? Here's Olmo. He's doing... Oh, he does well. Oh, this is fantastic from Oyarzabal back to Lamine. Oh, almost for Spain. History Ball TV win. Dude, I'm not getting into the history space. I've seen like history debates are like rough, man. The battle in the comment section on history content, crazy. Only thing more toxic than that is hip hop. And that's why I left hip hop, because I'm like, I don't want to talk to y'all anymore. France's superstars have been disappointing so far. Yeah, and Spain's done really well. This back line has done really, really well. I wasn't sure before this game how much of the credit for Spain's defensive record was the players versus the teams that they had played, because Austria just are not scary attacking. Belgium, I was like, okay, Belgium are actually quite good. In Portugal, yeah, they got the names, but we all saw what Portugal did at this World Cup. They really struggled to create anything. So this whole time I was like, is it Spain or is it the opposition? Is it Spain or is it the opposition? And this game is kind of proving it is more Spain than the opposition so far. Baena shot in, blocked by Koundé. Rodri might be able to pop this one off. He's going to float it back post. Digne back to Spain immediately. I won't drag him for that. That was more of a clearance than a pass. That was the Ugandan dictator. Okay. Oh my gosh. A second goal for Pedro Porro. Oh, I think France are cooked, y'all. I think this is it. I think France are cooked. Would you look at that? Excellent work from Spain. Wow. Yeah, this is probably gonna be too much. This is probably gonna be too much. I don't see 2 goals in the team right now. I mean, I guess they technically kind of did it against Argentina last time. But I don't know, guys. This looks rather complete. Pedro Porro as well, who I don't think has been taken advantage enough by France in this game. He starts the play as well. Excellent ball in from Olmo. This is just, it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic. Wow, look at Lacroix. Lacroix has no idea. He actually has no idea Porro's even making the run. And look, Digne's throwing his hands up like, why didn't you track him? Maybe a little bit of like chemistry loss. A little bit of chemistry loss from Saliba going down, both with the other center back, but also between Digne and Lacroix. But he's just not tracked. He's just simply not tracked. Okay. And Spain are in front, and France are gonna have to suffer now. This is, and can they suffer? Can they win via suffering? I don't know. England can. They've proven that. Argentina can. They've proven that. We're about to see with France here. Oh my gosh, Magnan. Like, look at this for France. Look, every time France gets the ball, it goes wide. Do you guys see how uninvolved in the play their midfield is? Watch this again next time this happens. France build up. They got 4 men up top, 2 centrally, 1 on each side. There is not a single midfielder who is actually helping in the play, who is actually helping in the build-up. Oh, what a ball down. What a ball down. Digne cooked again. Is this going to be 3? Lamine Yamal? 3-0. Oh, no. They called offsides. Wow. Digne just got shook. Digne just got completely shaken down in that moment. Wow. They're going to do a review, I suppose. Oh, I guess no replay of it. Okay, France. All right, France. I don't know how many more lives you're going to have in this game. They really got to start going. I mean, look at this midfield. People were saying France was the best team by far, by the way. Yeah, I think people, I think, oh, yeah, I think he's off just by like a freaking hair. I think it's a lot of the names as well. I wouldn't say that France have been by far the best. They haven't, they've won, I think, in the most comfortable fashion out of anybody, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're the best. I mean, if I'm Sweden right now, I'm kind of embarrassed that I got dunked on in the manner in which I did. Morocco, at least they had like a lot of injuries at that point to use as an excuse. Is today your birthday? No. Today is not my birthday. Baguettes are overrated. This is true. Baguettes are overrated. Dude, Cucurella has actually dominated Elise to the point where, like, I don't think I've ever seen Elise this bad. I mean, he was really bad against, oh my God, who was in the Champions League final, or semifinal? Help me out, guys. Who was it in the semifinal? The last Champions League. I've deleted all my club football knowledge. Who did they lose to in the last semifinal? PSG. Yes, it was PSG. This is probably the worst performance I've seen since that second leg for Elise. Cucurella has dominated him. And here's something that France haven't been able to do. Did you see that? They haven't really been able to force mistakes from Spain. And that's not too surprising. Spain are like a highly controlled team. But I thought, okay, well, even if Spain make one or two mistakes, France have been so good, so lethal, that maybe they could still get a goal from that opportunity. But Spain, maybe they've made like one turnover in midfield, but then you saw that Tchouaméni tried to send the breakaway, and Rodri just broke it up immediately. Like, he's killed everything. They should really take out Digne. I feel like they're not going to, because they only have one sub or two subs left. I guess they could take him out. I don't think they will. Mbappe hasn't done anything, and he's going to take on Porro here, and he gets a cross, and at least he forces a corner. Is the Spanish defense one of the best in the world? Yes, I would say so. Everyone talking crap about Spain? Who was talking crap about Spain? This is what I'm saying, man. Like, we have a World Cup semifinal, and there are big swaths of people online who think that these four teams suck. You know, that like Spain suck, England suck, Argentina suck. And it's like, how do you guys keep believing this? Trying to come from behind against Spain is so brutal. Yeah, well, we'll see if somebody's able to do it. Cabo Verde drew this team, by the way. Yeah, they did. They did. Shout out to Vozinha. To be fair, we were only saying watching Spain was boring, not bad. Yeah, look, I'm not trying to accuse anybody in particular in the chat of saying that Spain was ass or anything like that. Spain games can be pretty boring, but they win. So, I mean, they still score goals too. It's not like they're pen merchants or anything like that. Like, they do get goals. They're just not like, I don't know. I think at the Euros, they were super exciting. It hasn't quite been on that level at the World Cup, but looks like they're going to the final, so they don't care. They're far from the most boring team. French midfield not doing the dirty work in the middle of the pitch. I agree. Like, this is just poor from France there. They're trying to combine on the left-hand side, Doué and Digne, but Doué, like, creates an extra pass for no reason. Why didn't the France versus Panama game worry anyone that France has weaknesses? The France versus Panama game? Shot. Oh, my gosh. He goes narrowly wide from Mbappe. I mean, that's what you got to worry about if you're Spain, just that individual brilliance. The France versus Panama game. The France versus Panama game. Brother, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, Doué. Shot comes in. It gets blocked by Kubarsi. Falls to Doué again. He's going to dance. He does a little back heel. Okay, well, this is the most... Caught by Unai Simon. Seeing the Spanish performance makes me more comfortable with Austria's defeat. I know it doesn't help in any way, but still. No, Floyd, I think that's true. Some losses age better than others. Like, a great example of that is, I think, Ivory Coast. Initially would have been very, very disappointed that they lost to Norway, but then Norway beat Brazil and took England to extra time, and you go, you know what? Maybe Norway were actually really good. Are Cabo Verde better than France? Is it boring? I enjoy them passing around their opponent. No, Cisco, I don't think it's boring. Like I said, I wouldn't describe them as like one of the more boring teams at this World Cup. Definitely not. It's just not quite as vertical as it was at the Euro, but that's fine. Like, I think I was even saying in the chat for Spain-Belgium last game, I was like, this has been a pretty good game. And people were like, oh, it's mid. You wait for mid off. And I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Do you think Baena will get the Man of the Match award? He's been doing all the dirty work alongside Cucurella. No, I don't think he will, but I think he's had a good game. It's going to be tough to give a Man of the Match award because it's been a full team performance from Spain here. I think Rodri's been brilliant. Almost had his moments in the attack. Porro, obviously, with the goal. I don't know if I'd give Pedro Porro. He wouldn't be in my top 3. I thought Laporte was amazing, especially in the first half. It's going to be really tough to actually give one here. Oyarzabal, he's the one who scored the pen. Lamine Yamal drew the pen. Watching France hurts my soul a little. Why does it hurt your soul? Oh, France versus Paraguay is what he meant to say. Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure I watch every Panama game, and I'm not recalling a France-Panama game right before the World Cup. I mean, no. I don't know if I would agree with that because I think Paraguay are an elite defensive team. And in that match, Paraguay had 0 counterattack. They had 0 threat. France were not up against it at any point in time. They just had to be super, super patient, and they were. And I think that's how you beat a team like Paraguay. Is the ink still dry on Digne's PSG transfer? That's hilarious. If France loses, it's a disappointment? Yeah, I think for sure. I think the 4 teams that we have in the semifinals, I think all of them would consider it a failure if they lost in this round. I think the one that would be maybe the most acceptable failure, is probably Argentina just because they won already. You know, England haven't won in 60 years, so that's unacceptable. I think for Spain, especially how they got bounced last time, unacceptable. And then France, yeah, just France are always going to be win or bust, no matter what. Man of the match, Luca Digne. Fraud watch for France. I don't think you get put on fraud watch if Spain beats you 2-0. I don't think there's any shame in beating you 2-0. France has due to score 2 goals in 25 minutes. It's not over yet. That's correct. Cherokee is coming on. Guys, before this hydration break is over, I'm going to grab some water. Hold on. I'll be right back. I missed the game. Oh my god, I missed the France comeback. That would have been insane if it was 2-2. French people would be like, "You should go again." True story, when Argentina was playing Cabo Verde, it was 2-1 to Cabo Verde at the time, I believe. And I had to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and while I was in the bathroom, Argentina scored again. And I could hear like the screaming and stuff from the bathroom. So I I walked out of the bathroom. It was 2-2, and everybody was like, "You need to go back in the bathroom." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, whatever." Then like 10 minutes went by in Cabo Verde. They were like kind of cooking, right? And I was like, I actually think I need to go back in the bathroom. So I didn't go back in the bathroom, but I like left the room and I just stood in the kitchen for the final like 10 minutes of extra time, and Argentina scored again. And they won 3-2 because I left the room. So I technically missed, 2 of Argentina's goals, and then I would walk back in when the replay happened, and then I walked back out. So I don't know if that superstition stuff works, but it definitely worked for that particular game. Was it never leading? Then maybe it was 1-1, and then Argentina scored, and I missed Cuti's goal, and I missed Lisandro's goal. But the Cuti one was like an own goal at the end of the day. But those are the ones that I was in the bathroom or in the kitchen for. I saw the first one, and I saw the first Cabo Verde goal. And then when I was in the living room again, that's when Cabo Verde scored again, so I left. So the point of the story is I missed most of extra time because I was in the kitchen instead, just pacing around. And then I thought I really cursed the team because when I was watching Egypt were up 2-0, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, "Oh, that's a foul," and I think that should be a yellow. That should be a yellow against Lamine Yamal. Deschamps is furious. So I almost turned off the game when it was 2-0 because I'm like, maybe this is my fault. But then, Argentina's comeback happened. And I was like, okay, I don't need to watch the games in the kitchen anymore. Yeah, to me, that's a clear yellow. To me, that's a clear yellow. So I rigged it? Kind of. Kind of, yeah. I wouldn't say I rigged it because that would insinuate I have like extreme like powers over the universe that I wish I had, but I don't. I did test my theory and it proves correct. So I do apologize to Cabo Verde. The reason that you guys didn't win is because I went into the kitchen during extra time. Went into the kitchen, banished to the kitchen, potato, How insane is it that Luis de la Fuente made the decision to bench Pedri, and it's paid off in consecutive games? And it's paid off in like a quarterfinal and a semifinal of a World Cup against Tier 1 European teams. I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. I think he deserves credit for how well the team's played in the absence of Nico Williams as well. I think he deserves a lot of credit for the back line in particular changing a lot since the last Euro. I think he's done well. And I remember there was like some controversy when he got appointed because some people felt like he was just like an FA like puppet or something. And that his record with the youth teams was like not a good enough. Oh my gosh, I thought that was 3. I thought Ferran just made it 3. And I think he's completely validated his appointment already. I mean, even if they lost this game, like you won a Euro, you made a Nations League final, and you made a World Cup semifinal. Like that's a pretty good go, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a pretty good go. He was a penalty shootout away from two major trophies, if we consider Nations League a major trophy, which I think we will at some point in time. Looks like Upamecano and Kone gets fouled. I don't understand why he didn't start this game. I'm a little confused by that. Glad to hear I'm not the only one who's super. No, dude. Sometimes I'm superstitious. Like if I'm standing up and my team scores, I won't sit down the rest of the game, and vice versa. If I'm sitting down and Mexico scores or Japan gets a goal, I'm like, I guess I'm sitting down the rest of the game. It's like I'm not gonna eat until the game is over. Gathered by Simone here. I mean, France got. Where is the midfield? Like, I don't understand what Desiree Doué is doing. It's like they have too many guys that don't want to get stuck in right now, and that's kind of what you need against Spain. You kind of need people to get stuck in, and they don't want to get stuck in. And so Spain's technical superiority and numerical superiority a lot of the time is just shining through. Does it only work for Argentina games? No, it's worked a lot. I used to use it mainly for the Cleveland Cavaliers back when I watched more basketball. When the Cavs came back down 3-1 in the finals, I sat in the same spot on the floor of the living room for every game during the comeback on the floor. Olmo and Ruiz are slightly better than Pedri. I don't know how many people would agree with you or would have agreed with you before the tournament. I think Fabian Ruiz is very underrated. I've been very adamant about that. He's a beast. Olmo's a 10. Pedri's not. So it's kind of like a difficult, oh no, a mistake. Oh my gosh, Simone does brilliantly there. and Doué just takes way too long to get the shot in. That was the first genuine mistake Spain have made. And if France score that, then we have a game here. But look at Unai, man. Like, he does so well there. And then Doué takes like a really long time to gather a shot and doesn't even curl it over Unai Simon. Here's Rodri again. He's just been a beast the whole freaking game, man. Croatia beats... I thought Portugal beat Spain on pens in the Nations League. Am I insane? Oh my gosh. Ooh, Unai Simon does brilliantly there again. What would you rate Yamal's performance so far in this game? I mean, I would give him a 7. I think he's been solid, but he has not been Spain's best player. Time check. 82, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Fabian Ruiz will be a forgotten baller in 10 years. Well, I hope you're wrong about that. PSG players this World Cup have been overrated. I mean, Mbappe has not been overrated. I don't think Doué's been overrated this World Cup. Hakimi wasn't great in the knockouts. Nuno Mendes, I thought, was quite good for Portugal, actually. I wouldn't say that he was overrated. Fabian Ruiz is not overrated. Vitinha was poor, very poor. João Neves, I thought, was doing what João Neves needs to do. Like, he's a destroying midfielder. So, I don't know. I would only say Dembele has been disappointing. Vitinha has been disappointing. Bacho wasn't great, but he also wasn't the problem in Ecuador's back line. Ordóñez made way more mistakes. Hincapié made way more mistakes than Pacho. So I would only put 2 PSG players on that, like, y'all kind of sucked list. The others, I think, have just been okay or good, even. Maybe Hakimi. I put Hakimi. I put third. I put 3 players from PSG there. Spain is the Squirtle to France's Charmander. 3 games, 3 tournaments, and Spain always wins. Yeah. Oh, here's maybe a turnover here. Oh, Lacroix does very well. Lamine is barreling down on him. Teo Hernandez in the game. I don't know if this is enough time to really make an impact. Spain won the Nations League. Oh, in 2023. I didn't know De La Fuente was there. I thought he got appointed after that. So he has won multiple trophies. Okay. Well, there we go. Won multiple trophies and I guess has made 3 finals. That ain't bad. Dembele is still in the game? Holy shit. I thought he got subbed off like 30 minutes ago. Wow. Well, there we go. Okay, Cherokee. Jeez, I haven't really said his name since he came on either. Well, 5 minutes for France to... Oh my gosh. Unai Simon has gone down. Mbappe's gotten a yellow card. Unai Simon is grabbing his ear. I would like to see this replay again. That's yeah. I mean, that's a yellow card. That's completely a yellow card from Mbappe. Oh my god. That's just him being pissed. That's him being pissed. Deserved yellow, 100%. Nothing else to say. I wonder what the internet's saying. I'm checking Twitter right now. Filippo's saying that this game is not rigged. The ref is just really bad. Is he trying to say that it's been in favor of Spain? I mean, the only thing I really, really disagree with was Lamine not getting a yellow card for that tackle on Mbappe. That's the only thing where I'm like, to me, that's a card. Cherokee again running. Oh, well, actually, this time he kind of keeps the ball. Oh my gosh, this is the first time France has been able to like genuinely progress. Yep, that's a foul. That's a foul against Lamine. I don't see too many other people complaining about this. I see a stat that, oh my gosh, free kick goes over from Mbappe. That Pedro Porro has more World Cup knockout goals than Cristiano Ronaldo. That's not good. I don't see too many people complaining about. Oh, apparently there was a foul. I missed this earlier. Elise tackled Rodri's ankle and there was no card given. I don't remember seeing a replay of that, but which is ironic because I remember the chat was more upset. Well, maybe one guy in the chat was very upset that the ref was unfair in favor of Spain, was what he was saying. Apparently, there's another step on Dani Olmo. Who cares? Oh, the rigged conversations are so boring. Oh, Cherokee actually with some good combination play. And is that Cucurella who gets a foot on it? Dude, he's been a beast. Yep, left back of the tournament. Left back of the tournament. France go again. They're going to play quickly. Desiree Doué to Dembele. I don't know why Dembele's still in the game. He hasn't done anything. Chouameni as well. It's just been completely uninspiring. Ball across Laporte, who is he's on demon time at this World Cup. I don't like why was the starting midfield not Kone and Rabiot? Someone please explain why that was not the case. +7 for for France to do something. Excellent block from Cucurella. There's Cherokee, who's given France at least a little bit of pizzazz in the middle of the field. Okay, here's Pedri dribbling past 3 French players. I mean, the French midfield is just being torn through like the Spanish are using a Gatling gun or something. 6 minutes. I mean, they got to go. Long ball here from Laporte. Koundé's going to get there. Nico Williams will probably get there first, though. Actually, Upamecano is having to play CDM right now. I don't. This is not a winning formula for France. Rodri, class there, absolute class. This is his best game of the World Cup. I think by a mile and a half, which isn't that surprising because I feel like the good CDMs look even better against the better teams when they're just asked to do more defending. Well done from Lacroix. Yeah, Chouameni, here we go here. Up to Koundé, who's going to put a long ball in. This hasn't really worked the whole game, but let's try it one more time if you're France. And it's just, it's 2v1. It's 2v1, and Mbappe's not going to win. Bellingham or Pedri, different type of midfielder. Am I crazy? I thought Laporte was French. I think he is French. I think he's French and Spanish. Remember what Paraguay did psychologically to France? Do you think France was overconfident because they were so dominant? I don't think so. I don't think this was a mental issue because Spain were dominant as well. So, I mean, unless you think that just the French ego is significantly bigger than the Spanish ego, which maybe that's possible. I think what really happened is that this was always going to be a 50-50 game, and France made a crucial mistake, and their midfield has not been able to get anything in this game. Their midfield is there to win the ball. That's why their midfield is there. And when Spain scored that first penalty, now you're talking about a Chouameni and a Rabiot midfield having to contain the Spanish in open play, and it's just, I just don't see it. Nico Williams gets a shot off. It goes narrowly wide. I thought Magnan saved it, but they're saying goal kick. And the French have 5 players in their own box. Cucurella making Chelsea pull their hair out for not inflating his. Ooh, nice Simone. Good save from him. Good shot from Dembele. It's the one time that's the one time I'm gonna say he got the better of Cucurella and like barely did. It's really just a great shot. He like barely got around him. Y'all talking about Yamal was diving? I don't recall. Spain has conceded? Yes, they conceded last game. Low key, Belgium put them under more pressure. Because Belgium actually has like a more properly balanced 3-man midfield that the French don't have. Cucurella again, man. Just been ridiculous. And now the Spanish are literally like juggling the ball over the heads of the French players. "90 seconds left, and this is going to be Spain to the final." Dude, they've done such a good job. They have done such a good job. Is there a third place match? Yes, there is. There is a third place match this World Cup. This feels like Colombia's run in the Copa America. The best team doesn't always win the tournament. The best team does not always win the tournament. Shot comes in from Dembele. He's got 2 shots in the last couple minutes. Heavy touch from Koundé. Can France do something? I mean, it's tough. They got everybody standing top of box. And then Mbappe just blasts one over. They're going to go out in the semis. Hell of a win for Spain, man. I don't know if we can say that France have been like definitively better than Spain throughout the games up to this point. I think it was a debatable discussion. It was something that could be discussed. Whereas I think Colombia at the Copa just played better and played much better teams than Argentina on the way to the final. So it's a little different in my opinion. And that is game. Spain have defeated France 2-0. Such a good performance from Spain. I mean, they stepped up in this one. This is their best performance of the World Cup. They looked great. France had nothing, man. Had absolutely nothing. It's another semifinal for France. It's another semifinal for Deschamps, who I believe is done now as French manager. I don't think it's necessarily embarrassing to go out in this moment for France. I don't think a semifinal really can be embarrassing unless you lose 7-1 to Germany as the host. But it's bad. It's going to sting. People are going to clown France. I just think when Spain got that early advantage, which was a completely self-inflicted gunshot wound by the French, can't do that. You cannot do that against a team like Spain when you already have such a disadvantage in the midfield. I think particular players for Spain completely balled out today. The defense, I have to say I was wrong about the defense. I thought it was good, but I thought maybe when they play like a really, really threatening team, especially one with so much speed and verticality, maybe it'll cause them problems. Nope. Not at all, actually. Locked it down, man. Rodri was a beast. Laporte was a beast. Cucurella was a beast. Pedro Porro was good. Cubarsí was good. Ain't nothing to say. Unai Simon didn't really have to do too much. I mean, I think his best moments actually happened outside of the box, not inside the box. But he did have, 3 saves in this game at the end? I don't know. I'd like to see the official count. But, robbery? Defensive masterclass, 100%. 100% a defensive masterclass from Spain. I mean, France looked like an unstoppable offense. I don't think defensively they ever looked like the best in the tournament. I've never said that France are a top 5 defensive team in the world, but they looked good. And I'm not going to say Spain cut them up, but Spain controlled France. How I would describe this, I wouldn't say this was a dominant win for Spain. I would say that Spain made France dance to the Spanish tune is how I would describe that. And I hope that makes even a little bit of sense for people watching. It's not like they just completely cooked them everywhere and, Maignan had a masterclass to keep France in this game. But it was just more Spain completely okay with France's very limited, very rushed build-up play. And in possession, Spain were more than happy to pass around a undermanned French midfield that didn't have the legs or the teeth or the tenacity to keep up with them. And especially maybe this would have been more of a problem if the Luca Digne penalty didn't happen, but it did happen. And so Spain said, okay. Spain, you know what? Spain had the aux cord. Spain had the aux cord in this game. France never had the aux. We were listening to tango music. We were listening to... I don't even know. I don't know enough Spanish rappers right now to give y'all a bunch of examples. But we were not listening to French music. Every single track was in Spanish. And that's very impressive for Spain. And I honestly don't know if there's another team in the world that could have done this. I don't know if Spain could make... I don't know if England would have the aux cord the whole time. I don't know if Argentina would have the aux cord the whole time against the French. So it's insanely impressive. It's very, very impressive. Look, Spain are top 3 team in the world, hands down. A lot of people had them picked to win. I will contest people saying this is super embarrassing for France, but this will ultimately be a failure, and that's harsh. But you're France, and you have the most stacked attack in the world. You have very good players everywhere. It's going to be a failure. That doesn't mean you suck. That doesn't mean you're trash, but you failed, you know? A lot of teams have failed. Most teams, guys, more teams fail than succeed at the World Cup, truth be told. More teams fail than succeed. Who failed harder, France or Brazil? Brazil 1,000%, and it's not even close. But they're both still failures. There's like degrees of failure. And semifinal, go out. I'm a type of guy that says the third place game matters. I know nobody agrees with me on that, but I think it matters. So go beat Argentina or England in the next game. Take the third, take it home. Deschamps will be gone. Excellent tenure overall for him. You would have liked to have seen one more major trophy, but you can't say France were not a protagonist in international football during his time. Spain owns France. Oh, sorry. Let me ban this guy. Give me a finalissima final. I was going to make a joke about the script, but if I make a joke about the script, then people will just think everything's rigged. Spain is going to win it all. Can't believe it. France too overconfident. I don't think it has anything to do with overconfidence. I think Spain was just as confident as France were. I don't think it has to do with confidence. I think it has to do with team composition. It's embarrassing for France, obviously. Don't agree. Don't agree. It's only embarrassing if you didn't think Spain were that good. It's not embarrassing. France failed. Yes, France failed. France failed, 100%. But not every failure is embarrassing. I failed to hit 50,000 subscribers during the World Cup. I failed in my objective there. I wouldn't say it's embarrassing, though, because the growth of the channel has been really good. A semifinal is solid. I think once you make a semifinal, again, unless you lose 7-1 or 4-0, 5-0, something like that, as long as you avoid something like that, you can still fail if you're one of the bigger teams, but I don't think this is like something that will be one of the biggest beatdowns in World Cup history. I don't agree with that. English or Spanish final? ? Lamine Yamal's only lost to Mbappe once. Has it really been only once? That's insane if that's true. La segunda estrella se viene from Ren Mouse. I think the favorite was going to be this game no matter what. If France won, they were the favorite in the final. If Spain won, they're the favorite in the final. I think everybody knew this side of the bracket was tougher. So Spain will be favorites in that game. Midfield mogged, 100%. Yep, great way to put it. Spanish midfield was mogging, dude. 3 consecutive losses to Spain. Amen. Sometimes these matchups happen. Sometimes you find your boogeyman and you just have no answer. And I guess that's Spain now for France. Was this the best Spain game since 2012? The best Spain game? I don't know. I mean, I thought the Euro final, they were quite good. Maybe of a game of this magnitude, but I don't know. They were really good in against Italy last Euro as well, in terms of just completely blitzing them off the field. There's been a lot of very good Spanish performances recently. There's a lot of nominees for that. I had full trust in Spain. They were ridiculously ignored. I don't know if they were ignored that much. I mean, I don't know. I'll say shame on everybody who said that like Spain aren't good or Spain can't win or something like that. That's ridiculous. But I feel like everybody knew Spain had a fighting chance, or at least I think that's how people felt. How many subs have you gotten since this World Cup? At least 10,000. At least 10,000. I don't know how many, but I think more than 10,000. You don't think he's ever lost to Mbappe? Yamal's never lost to Mbappe? I think. Wait, that can't be true, because didn't Madrid beat Barca with Xabi Alonso? So that can't be true. Spain was absolutely amazing, yes. Jack, thoughts on the World Cup and Copa America having a third-place game while the Euros doesn't? I like the third-place game. I like the third-place game. Asian Cup used to have it. They got rid of it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Some people think it's dumb. You know, the AFCON has it as well. I think it's important to end everything on a positive note. You can still be disappointed, but if you win, if you have a good pot, like let's say that it's Argentina in the third place game and France wins 4-0, 3-1, something like that. I think at least that kind of softens the blow. I think there's utility in that. But France is deadly. I mean, they are deadly. They are deadly. But Spain locked them down. It was an AC-controlled stadium, so there's no excuses. I don't think there's excuses for anything regardless. You call 10K subs a failure? No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a failure, but I'm saying if my goal was to hit 50K, then I would have failed. That was not my goal, by the way. I didn't have a sub growth goal for the World Cup. I just wanted to make good content. I didn't really give a damn about the subs, but I do appreciate all the love you guys have been showing the channel. How is Belgium better than France? How is Belgium better than France? How is Belgium better than France? I don't think Belgium's better than France. Maybe I said that Belgium threatened Spain more than France did, which is true. I mean, you can put 4 clown emojis, you could put 7, and the truth would still remain. Yamal lost Mbappe twice, once in the October El Clasico and April El Clasico 2024. Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I don't know. Spain looks unstoppable. I don't see Argentina or England being able to stop them. They're good. They're very, very good. They were deadly because they played mostly weak teams. I wouldn't say they had a cakewalk. I wouldn't say they walked down the highway of hell to make it to the final. I would say Spain have had a more difficult knockout path, is what I would say. Spain beat France without trying. See, like, I don't know. They tried. They definitely tried. Pedro Porro apology? I like Pedro Porro. I like Pedro Porro. I've had debates with other people like, dude, he's actually a really good fullback. And people are like, eh. I'm like, okay, maybe he's not a great defender, but he's very good going forward. Why don't you plug the Patreon more? I mean, I feel like I do bring it up every once in a while. If I don't know. If you guys want to subscribe to the Patreon, link is in the description. It really helps out the channel. It will help me go full-time faster. But if y'all don't want to subscribe to the Patreon, you know, I get it. Monando says, hope you had a good day. Appreciate that, Monando. Should Conte or another midfielder have subbed in to try to fight the Spanish midfield, or was France already too cooked? Yeah, I think they just needed another body. I think they needed another body. I think what Deschamps was thinking is maybe I need to keep my big guns in because we're just going to wait for that moment. I think that was Deschamps' methodology, that if I take off Elise or I take off Dembele for more legs in the midfield, maybe we'll have more legs, but we'll lose the creativity. That's probably what he was thinking, I would assume. I have no idea what currency pen is, by the way. Someone help me in the chat. But I think it proved to be a mistake because France had no control of the game. Is Cabo Verde better than Australia? No, I don't think so, but it's pretty close. Poof Pants says, you deserve more subscribers. Someone with as much ball knowledge and as handsome as you. Thank you, Poof Pants. Do I are you saying I have pretty privilege on YouTube? That's crazy. I mean, I'll take it, man. Anything to go full time. England can do it against Argentina. Dude, both of these semifinals are 50-50. But yes, any combination of teams could have made the semis. That's why I think the semis are awesome, because they were super exciting. You didn't have like a, I don't know, like if the USA had made it in here somehow, right? And it was USA-Spain semifinal. or wouldn't have been, excuse me, USA France. Like, it would be a 70, maybe even an 80-20 France semifinal. We didn't get that this time around. It was all like 55-45, 50-50 for both games, which is really, really cool. Do I wish that maybe it was not the traditional, 4 highest seeded teams? Sure, but I'll take it for this World Cup. I'm not going to complain. The Finalissima, I think a lot of people will be hoping for that. Jack hasn't mentioned Trinidad and Tobago this whole week. I know you secretly hated them. That's hilarious. What would you rate the Spanish performance out of 10? I'd say a 9. I think I would go an 8.5. I think they could have created more, but I would say an 8.5. But still very, very good. I would give France 4.75. I wouldn't give them like a 1 because, if they played a 1 today against Spain, they lose 4-0. So I would give them like a 4.75, 5 out of 10 maybe maximum for the French. What about England versus Spain final? What's the weighting? 60. Yeah, I would say because of Spain beating England last time and it being, a Euro rematch, you'd have to say it's 60-40 Spain, but I wouldn't go any more than that. I think it would be a 60-40 game. That midfield battle is going to be insane if it happens. Insane. France had the worst midfield of the 4 semifinalists. You could say they had the best attack, but they had the weakest midfield of the 4 semifinalists, and it really bit them in the ass today. Is this considered haram ball or uncontested control ball? I would not say Spain don't play haram. It's not at all. It's definitely more just like suffocating possession. How do you think Argentina would cope against this midfield? I think they would do quite well. I don't know if they would win the midfield battle, but I don't think they won't get run through like France because it's not the same composition. They would stuff it with McAllister, Paredes, DePaul. Those guys want to scrap. The French guys don't want to scrap that much. They had one guy who really wanted to scrap in this game, Rabiot, and they subbed him off at halftime. What are your thoughts on Deschamps' overall tenure? I think it was successful. You have to say it was successful, but I think he would have wanted to have won a European championship or something. I think if he walks out of here with 2 major trophies or maybe like the World Cup and 2 Nations Leagues, maybe could have called it something like that. You would say like 11 out of 10 tenure. But we're seeing, a decade of France being considered the favorite or the second favorite for every single major tournament. So I think he's done well. But you would have wanted one more trophy, I think, if you're nitpicking. Belgium actually ended up performing better against Spain, which I thought was an interesting result. Yeah, I agree with that completely. Argentine midfield got some dogs. Yes, they do. Deschamps was great. He really formed a proper team there. I said it was successful. Yeah. I said if I'm nitpicking, you would say maybe you win 1 Euro. But that's nitpicking. But he's formed them into a borderline dynasty. They might be a dynasty. They made 3 World Cup semifinals in a row. I don't think it was France being overhyped, but but Spain being underhyped. I think was France more overhyped or Spain underhyped? I think Spain were more underhyped, especially with Lamine Yamal not playing as well as we've seen before. And he still wasn't amazing today, and it didn't matter. Do you think Argentina or England would be a more favorable matchup for Spain? Love the content. I appreciate that, Ingram. A more favorable matchup for Spain? England, I think, would be a more favorable matchup, if I'm being honest. But I think Spain will be feeling like they can keep the ball away from both teams. You know what? The advantage England has is way more speed. So, like, who has an advantage against Spain if Argentina's parking the bus or England's parking the bus? I would say England has more of an advantage because Argentina are not playing with wingers. And one of their forwards is Messi, who's not fast anymore. So it's basically going to be Julian racing against Laporte and Kubarsi, and he's going to lose 9 times out of 10. Whereas England would have Gordon, Madueke, maybe even Saka, maybe even Rashford would start with Harry Kane, forcing the center backs to pay attention to him, and then you have those winger outlets. So it really depends like how Scaloni or Tuchel would want to play. If you want to bunker down, I think England would have the advantage. If you want to go at them like band for band in open play, I think Argentina's slightly more capable of playing that way. But I have no idea what these managers are going to do, man. They drive me crazy. Surprised Deschamps didn't sub in a 9 to win headers? Yeah, no Thuram. No big body in there. No Mateta. Nothing. Only Argentina, Juju, has a chance against Spain. England has no chance. I think they will have a chance, but I think you're gonna consider Spain the favorite against either. Like I said, the favorite was gonna come from this side of the bracket. Rochi says we smoke in Argentina on Sunday. Bro, calm down, bro. You're getting ahead of yourself here, man. Argentina might not even make it, but we'll see. Guys, I'm gonna end the stream there. No, move on. Yeah, exactly. Boom, here. Basil says, let's get to 50K. Everybody hit subscribe if you haven't already done so. I guess we got 3 World Cup games now, y'all. 3 left. 1 semifinal, a third-place game that no one will care about except for me, and then the 2026 final. And then a whole lot of recap videos. And then we're on to the Asian Cup. We're on to the AFCON. We're on to the Gold Cup. We're on to World Cup qualifiers. We're on to possibly an expanded World Cup, which will murder international football, and I will have plenty of rant videos about that should it come to pass. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did, smash the like button. I won't be live tomorrow, but I will have a match recap for England versus Argentina. So a lot of stuff on the channel. Chat, I appreciate you. I'll see y'all in the next.